And welcome back. It's New Comic Book Day, and this time it really is New Comic Book Day. So please come in on today, Wednesday, and see the new comics. Of course, just a reminder, I'm closed Thursday through Sunday. Wednesday's your only day this week. Please stop by. Let's make it a big day, because there's some fun stuff in here. Avengers 36, which is the last issue in that series, and it's a wraparound cover again. A triptych of wraparound covers, I believe, if I remember correctly. And that leads, there's a small gap before the Armageddon storyline stuff really picks up. I want to say May is when there's when the Avengers sort of come back together for that big story. Batman, Matt Fraction's Batman, of course. And we have a special guest in this issue. It's right up front, so it's not like it's a secret, but not quite what you'd expect. But still a good issue. I am still thoroughly enjoying that series. Batman Green Arrow, The Question, Arcadia. That should be the last issue of that series. Batman Static Beyond. Briar Knight's Terror continues. Another special for Cult of the Lamb. Daredevil and Punisher finishes up. For now, as it says in the back. DC Connect, talking about DC Comics coming out in about 2 months. There's some big doings at DC coming down the pipe. So I hope you guys are as excited as I am. DC KO finishes. And a bunch of covers. If you saw my little post from Monday. This is a very Superman Kal-El kind of ending, so I'm content with how this is finished up. Defenders of the Earth Dark Destiny continues. Absolute Flash, a little less glare. 2 covers there. Gaston gets a new series from Disney's Villains line. And there's some that'll say, but is he a villain? I'll allow it. Gargoyles Darkwing Duck continues. Godzilla, Rulers of Earth. This is like 25 issues stuck together in IDW's sort of new IDW Classic Collections line. Hello Darkness. Huck Volume 2. This is one of, Huck, the first volume, is probably one of my favorite Mark Miller's stories. Again, very heartwarming in the middle of a not so great world. And I'm very much looking forward to reading Volume 2 as a book. Iceman Omega collects previously released Iceman stories by Luciano Vecchio. Invincible, Volume 14 in that new, smaller format. Iron Man, this is Iron Man. That's a Step Into Reading, Level 2. Jessica Jones Blind Spots, that collects 2 originally digitally released stories of Jessica Jones. JSA, and I believe that's the end chapter of Year 1. Lobo back-to-back, that collects the first 2 Lobo miniseries, Lobo, and then Lobo is back into one volume. You know why we're putting Lobo back on the shelf, right? Why Lobo's got a new series coming, right? Yeah. Marvel Team Up number 14. This is a special edition of Marvel Team Up 14 from like 25 years ago, 20 years ago, somewhere in that range, where Invincible briefly popped into the Marvel Universe and hung out with Spidey. It was written by the Invincible team, or it was done by the Invincible team. So they're just redoing that. I believe they're trying to redo everything they can Invincible to get Invincible, the name, into more mouths, as it were. Another big thing coming out of the Comics Pro annual meeting was that Mask was getting a series, though we sort of all knew that Mask was getting a series. This is an Ashcan, just a teaser kind of thing, but that should be a fun addition to the Energon universe. Moonstar, founding New Mutant, longtime X-Men character, gets her own, presumably, miniseries. Looks like every X character is getting a miniseries these days. And I've got a couple of covers there. Nice House by the Sea and a ton of glare. There we go. From DC's new Vertigo. Nightmare Before Christmas, The Shiver of Christmas Town continues, and there's 2 covers there. Nightwing, Leaping into the Light, ends up in the DC Compact Comics format. Bunch of fun. Poison Ivy. Mayor Ivy starts here. Man, that sounds crazy. And 2 covers there. Powerpuff Girls, The Day is Saved. That collects the recent short series, miniseries, whatever. Power Rangers Prime. Apparently we're chugging towards the end of Power Rangers Prime. And then there will be, of course, new Power Rangers series coming. Rick and Morty, Ain't Nothing to Frick With. Oni now has a Compact Comics line, so that's one of the first ones in it. Sacrificers. Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. That's a one-shot. All new Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider continues. Amazing Spider-Man number 23, but part 2 of Death Spiral, the crossover with Venom. Star Wars Hyperspace Stories, Bad Batch. Shadow of Maul. Darth Maul gets a new miniseries. This is a prelude to the upcoming show on Disney+. I wasn't aware there was an upcoming show on Disney+, so that's news to me. Absolute Superman Volume 2, Son of the Demon. Hardback, paperback. You see, they sound different. It's just, it's in the name. And then a regular issue of Absolute Superman. And 2 covers there. That is lovely. I love the design of that cover. Very Sienkiewicz-ish. Sienkiewicz-ish. I'll get there. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Godzilla. Terminal is another Kirkman series coming. And there's 2 covers for this. It does this, which is annoying to shelve, but it's fine. They're the same thing on the inside, I believe. I will verify before we get very far. But there's the names involved, so it's Kirkman, Joe Casey on the writing duties, and then Andy Kubert, Dave Finch, and Art Adams doing art. And this is a new series coming from Skybound, from Image, and he harkens back to 90s X-Men, early 90s X-Men, and just the kind of action-oriented, big images sort of thing. And this might just be a very fun thing because the folks involved are pretty good at doing what they do. So I'm looking forward to that. That was something else that was announced at Comics Pro. Thunder the Barbarian, and takes a very comic book twist in this issue, but I'll allow it, even as a hardcore, old school Thunder fan. Thundercats Lost in Time. This is a one-shot that helps to lead into the upcoming crossover between Thundercats and Silverhawks. This is the main cover. The main cover is the Mystery Variant Blind Bag, and it is a special order. Tomb Raider gets a thank you variant, so there'll be less than 3,000 of these available, 1 per store. Twilight Zone, Walking Dead Deluxe, Wolverine, X-Men Annual, and then X-Men new storyline starts. And I do have some extras. Let me move this. A new X-Men poster. This is one of the covers for the upcoming X-Men United, which replaces extraordinary Eve Ewing's title. But the new title is being written by Eve Ewing, so that's fine. But this is one of the covers, and that's the poster. There is another poster, but we don't have the promo thing to feature it, so we'll just have to wait just a bit for that. And then I wanted to show you this. This is so I've never done any of Dark Horse's library editions, and it's sort of a clamshell packaging box for safety, and then this was in another box. I mean, this was very well packed and very nice. Helen of Windhorn. I didn't have a big audience for it, but this hardcover slipcase kind of action, which I can't focus on there, it's a little better. This is quite a thing. That's what the front cover looks like inside the slipcase. I'm now much more interested in the library editions. Not everything, of course, but for a handful of things. I have 2 copies of this. One is a special order. I'm not sure when I ordered the second copy. I'm going to put this down for just a moment. Not sure when I ordered the second copy, but that's fine. It is a beauteous thing. They are expensive, but I feel very worth it. A new edition of the DC Encyclopedia from DK. That's just a big tome with lots of information and cool pictures. Earth 2, the New 52 Omnibus, Volume 1. That, of course, collects a bunch of Earth 2 issues. All of those. Batman, Superman 1 through 4, Earth 2, 0 through 26, Earth 2 Annuals 1 and 2, Future's End, and then a little extra story from DC Universe Presents. There's a lot of fun alternate Earth things on there, or in there. And then, this is nobody's surprise, this is for me. This is X Factor Omnibus Volume 2. This cover is from one of the annuals, one of the X Factor annuals, and it was possibly the first part of the Evolutionary War crossover, which was one of the first big things I did collect or try to collect. These are all the stories included, including some Marvel Comics Presents stuff, issue of Fantastic Four, the sort of things, Exterminators miniseries. This is, again, just right in my... I'm now a collector for the stories of all the Marvel X-Men stuff in my wheelhouse sort of thing, and I love this collection. That is... Oh, I'm sorry. I did forget one little thing. Those are stacks of Absolute's reprints. Primarily Batman, Absolute Batman, and Absolute Wonder Woman. Getting some issues back on... There's one single Absolute Superman. Getting some of those issues back on the shelf for the first time in 2 months or so. I'm not super excited about how DC has reprinted or not reprinted issues to keep them available, but for the moment, I was able to get some, so it's cool for now. And that is everything. Again, if you see something you like, let me know. Try and get it for you. The sooner you tell me, the better. And just one more time, I will be closed Thursday through Sunday. Subscribers, pick up your books, especially if I send you invoices. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you soon.